Hello and welcome back to the Talk on Tap. Welcome yet again to another review. This week we're testing the new Hyundai Alcazar. The Alcazar is the official replacement for the Hyundai Grand Creta, and I'm here to tell you everything that you need to know about it. This new Hyundai Alcazar comes at 20,600 Rand cheaper than the model that it replaces. You get two derivatives to choose from. You can go for either the Executive or the Elite. In the Executive range, you get two engines to choose from. So you have a petrol engine and a diesel engine. Right now, we are testing the diesel engine. This 1.5 litre turbo diesel version comes priced at 600,000 Rand, while the other 2 litre petrol engine comes at 500,000 Rand. So there's a 100,000 Rand price difference, and you can even opt for the top derivative Elite, which comes at 670,000 Rand. For that, here in the 1.5 litre turbo diesel engine, you get 85 kilowatts and 250 Newton meters of torque. Power is sent to the front wheels via a 6-speed automatic transmission, and that 6-speed automatic transmission is used throughout the whole range. So you can find it with the 2 litre petrol engine, and you can also find it in the top derivative Elite. So here you can see the Hyundai Alcazar as a much more refreshed and newer fascia compared to the Hyundai Grand Creta. The Hyundai Alcazar uses Hyundai's latest design language, which, as you can see here, you have a lot of H pattern, H shape throughout the whole car. This Hyundai Alcazar features this latest Hyundai LED headlight style, which is light up here in H, and then you get a front LED light bar here up front. This kind of star headlight is also found in the Hyundai Extra, as well as the latest Hyundai Santa Fe. When you move to the side, the Hyundai Alcazar is longer than the Hyundai Grand Creta. With that, you get 17-inch alloy wheels here in the Executive range, but you can also go for the 18-inch alloy wheels in the top derivative Elite. Cladding is a little bit more minimal, and the cladding here is painted in this gloss black paint compared to, the matte or the plastic finish that you see in the Hyundai Grand Creta. You get electric folding side mirrors here in the Executive range with integrated indicators here on the side, while the top derivative Elite gets extra features such as your lane keep assist, your blind spot monitoring, and it looks just the same but with a little bit more features. At the top here, you get a roof rail which is in metal and is rated to about 80 kilograms of weight to carry. This is a 7-seater, so you get to have a little bit more natural light coming through the cabin via this window here. At the back, this is what the rear end of the Hyundai Alcazar looks like. A little bit more composed, a little bit more, premium looking compared to the Hyundai Grand Creta. The finish is a little bit, much well put together, visually appealing. You're gonna see that you get quite a lot of trimming plays here. So you get this chrome looking silver trim here at the top, Alcazar lettering here, just under the tail light bar, which is like the latest design language of almost any SUVs. Everyone want to use light bar here at the back. You also see the same H pattern that I mentioned at the front, which is the latest Hyundai design language. LED tail light at the back. You get reverse parking camera as well as reverse parking sensors here. You get 1.5D to remind you that you're driving the turbo diesel derivative, and you get functional exhaust port there at the bottom. So if you open the boot, seems a little bit heavy, manually operated, nothing crazy. You get about 180 liters of boot capacity when you have the third row seats raised up like this, but you can always fold them by pulling the strap like this. You pull it, you push it down. They normally fold flat if you also kind of adjust the second row seats, and with that folded, you get somewhere around 579 liters of boot capacity. Here at the back, there isn't really much. You get like a small light here, and you get one shopping hook, actually 2 shopping hooks here at the back. But this is what the space looks like, and also there is a false floor here which hides your jack and your warning triangle, but there's a little bit of space which actually I've found it quite useful. I did hide my camera underneath here because you do not get any parcel shelf cover here, so if you leave your things, they'll be exposed because you get to see through that that glass there at the back, but you get this floor here where you can hide something like your laptop, your backpack, maybe you can squeeze it in there and makes it a little bit more practical. Also, before I forget, this Hyundai Alcazar comes with 200 millimeters of ground clearance, and so you can see us bringing it here on the farm side. So 200 millimeters of ground clearance isn't crazy, but it kind of makes it practical to drive on gravel road, which also goes along with the extra driving modes that you get, the sand, snow, and mud. And yeah, it handles gravel road just fine. You join me behind the wheel of the Hyundai Alcazar. Driving impression. Well, like any other Hyundai, I think they've done a very good job at, making a well-composed car. The Hyundai Alcazar feels a little bit better riding, better driving than the Hyundai Grand Creta. The suspension feels a little bit firmer, and also it just feels a little more composed when taking corners at speed. So there's less wobble and less body roll compared to the Grand Creta. I think they've stiffened the suspension quite a bit, and yeah, I think it feels much better, a little bit more composed compared to the Grand Creta. The 1.5 liter turbo diesel engine paired to the 6-speed automatic transmission is a very good pair, I have to say. Like, I have barely anything to complain about, besides the fact that the engine can sound quite a bit like a bakkie, because it feels a little bit rumbly, it feels a little bit agricultural compared to the petrol engine. But yes, that's what you get with the diesel. You get the diesel grunt, and but besides that, 84.5 or 85 kilowatts and 250 newton meters of torque seems pretty good for this particular use. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to have a full cabin of passenger, but with two adults at the back, the car still felt well powered. It didn't feel sluggish. Overtaking was easy. The 6-speed automatic transmission does a very good job at shifting up and down on its own, so you don't need to shift into the sports mode and use it manually. There are no paddle shifters, so there's no need for a manual control when it comes to handling this 6-speed automatic transmission. And when it comes to fuel consumption, Hyundai claims that you can average somewhere around 5.9 liters on a combined cycle, but I've experienced that during my drive in town, I'm averaging somewhere around 6.1 and 6.3 liter. But once I hit the highway on open road, the fuel consumption settles down to 5.9, and I've even been able to see 5.7 liters per 100 kilometers. So I think going for this diesel derivative is definitely the one to go for. If you go for a lot of school runs or airport shuttle drives, I think this will save you quite a lot on fuel. In town, you get a little bit more than what they claim, but it's not really the end of the world, which actually sets a difference between this and the other Chinese rivals, because the Chinese rivals are very hard on fuel, and most of them only come with the petrol engine. So you'll be averaging somewhere around 8 or 10 liters per 100 kilometers in those other cars. But here, with the choice of this diesel derivative, you get to have a much better fuel consumption. On the comfort and entertainment side, it feels pretty decent. Noise insulation is much better. There is less road noise coming through the cabin, although you get to hear quite a lot more of the diesel engine, but it feels pretty much good. Like, it's not really the end of the world. There's not a lot of wind noise coming through the A-pillar, which is good, which I thought was one of the things that annoyed me with the Grand Creta. There was quite a lot of wind noise coming through the A-pillar, but here it feels much more tighter, and yeah, it feels a little bit more quieter inside. The steering wheel has a very good amount of weight to it, so it's not too loose, not too assisted, it's just good enough. The seats are decently comfortable. I mean, would have been better to have lumbar support even for this manual seats, but I think with the electric seats, which you get in the top derivative Elite, you get to have lumbar support adjustment, because yeah, having to drive this on a long distance, you get to have a little bit of lower back pain, but overall, it's decently comfortable. You join me inside the Hyundai Alcazar. If we're being honest, right off the bat, you're gonna notice that there's a lot of plastic inside this interior. There's barely any soft touch material here. Probably the only soft touch material that you might see here is this elbow rest on the door, and also this here on your, central armrest here. The steering wheel is wrapped in leather, but besides that, there's barely anything else. The dash is completely in plastic, door cards are completely in plastic, and even this central console here is in plastic, which tends to squeak a little bit I don't know if the mic will be able to pick it up, but there's a little bit of squeak. So every time when you're going around corners or you jump inside the cabin, if your knee or your leg kind of hits this, you get that squeak and it gets a little bit annoying. Besides that, you get a leather-wrapped steering wheel, like I mentioned, which comes with controls for your infotainment, as well as your cruise control here on the side. In front of you, you have kind of a nice-looking digital cockpit. So you have a 8-inch digital instrument cluster, which comes compatible with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto wirelessly. I do appreciate that you do get physical controls here for skipping, volume, and other, shortcut buttons here, which feels very good to have. You don't have to dig through the touchscreen display and fill it with fingerprints. In front of the driver, you get a small digital TFT screen in the middle, which displays your trip computer, fuel consumption, and whatnot. It looks pretty good. On the side, you get that old school chrono-looking rev counter and speedometer, but yeah, overall, it's pretty decent. Right in the middle, you will find your aircon controls here, which are fully manual in the executive trim level. But if you move to the elite, you're gonna get the digital climate control. This here looks very out of place, and yeah, although it works, but I would have wished at 500,000 Rand to get something better than this. You get your gear lever here, which also has like a leather boot to it. You get a drive mode selector, which allows you to drive to change your driving modes depending on your condition. As we just drove through a gravel road now, we switch it into the traction side where you have snow, mud, and sand. So we went over the sand mode and we drove it here without any issue. Is there a big difference? Not really. From the normal mode, I don't really see a big difference. On the other side, there is a drive mode, which allows you to go from eco, normal, and sport. Under here, you get 2 USB ports, one of type A and one of type C. You also get a 12 volt 180 watt power socket, and you also get a wireless charging pad. It works when it wants, so sometimes it works. You have to take the cover or you have to shift your phone up and down, but yes, it does work. We'll probably add another 10% to your battery, but yeah, it's there. Throughout the whole range of the new Hyundai Alcazar, you get leather seats. The difference is that in the lower derivative Executive, they are fully manual, while in the top derivative Elite, you get electric function, so you get to adjust them electrically, and you also get heating and maybe cool function as well. And quick practicality test. So this is the second row seat, and this is my current driving position. I have decent amount of leg room here under the driver's seat. Headroom for days, so you can squeeze up to 8 fingers here. You'll be fine. Sitting position here for adults, very comfortable, nothing to complain here. You get pockets behind the driver's seat as well as the passenger seat. There are air vents here and 2 USB Type-C port here. On the sides here, you get cup holders. You can put a bottle in there. You get also speakers on the door cards. Overall, it's pretty decent. You get ISO charge fix anchorage point here, and you also get this central armrest here, which is the backrest for the middle passenger. And if we're being honest, this is actually a lap seat belt, so it's not a 3-point here. So if I sit here, decently comfortable. 3 people of my size, I think they'll be comfortable enough here, but I think 2 adults is kind of the game to go. So besides that, the seats are decently comfortable. Not a big fan of the middle seats because it's always very firm, but you do get these seats. Like I mentioned, you get ISO charge fix anchorage point here. So if we move here to test the third row seats, all you have to do is fold this. They do fold into, I believe this is a 60-40 split, and you hold it. Takes a little bit of mission to pull this all the way. The second row seats can fold and can slide forward. This is me sitting here at the back. So first impression, when you sit like this, you have the headrest in the middle of your back, but you can raise it like this and like that as well. So here the headrest is good enough. Now let's test the most important thing here is the leg room. So I'll pull the seat and it's a no. The seats are hitting my legs here and it's already uncomfortable. So I don't imagine what it's like sitting here at the back. Oh, nope. This is a no. Maybe if you slide the second row seats a little bit forward, you're gonna have more space, but I think it will still be tight for adults. But I think kids will be comfortable here at the back. One thing to note is that you get USB Type-C port here at the back with cup holders as well as an air vent. So if you have kids here, I think they'll be entertained and I think they'll be quiet. They won't disturb you much, but adults won't be able to be comfortable here. So what's my take on this new Hyundai Alcazar? Well, coming in at 20,000 rand cheaper than the model that it replaces, it's already a bargain. So there are a lot of rivals out there. The Chinese manufacturers keep on coming with new cars every 6 months, every 3 months. So like the pool of new cars is quite big. So shopping can be a little bit tricky, because you have so many options. But the thing with Hyundai is that it's quite of a old brand and quite of a trusted brand compared to the Chinese manufacturers. Because most people have been buying i10s, i20s, and whatnot for years and years and years. So they kind of have a good reputation or good knowledge about what they're buying, and the durability, of the engines and whatnot, and the part availability compared to the Chinese manufacturers, which can seem quite a bit scarce. So going for this, while it's a little bit more expensive than the Chinese manufacturers, where you get much better features and bells and whistles compared to this, what would I recommend? This 1.5 liter turbo diesel engine variant of the Hyundai Alcazar is definitely a steal. Like I mentioned, most of the Chinese manufacturers' cars only come with petrol, and the fuel consumption isn't as good as you get it here in the diesel derivative of the Hyundai Alcazar. So that's already a standout point to it. I know it kind of falls short when it comes to advanced safety features and all the bells and whistles in terms of comfort and electric seats and whatnot. Yes, but you still get a very solid car out of the Hyundai Alcazar. So it comes down to your personal choice at the end of the day. But what I would recommend is that book yourself a test drive, go test it, and see which one fits your lifestyle better. So I'll say definitely consider the Hyundai Alcazar. While there are options out there with a much better price point, this also stands out thanks to its diesel derivatives and the reputation that Hyundai has built for years and years and years. So that's my take on the new Hyundai Alcazar. Please let me know what you think of it, and please let me know if you booked yourself a test drive, have had any experience with the Hyundai Alcazar, or I'd like to know what you think. And please be sure to subscribe, like, and share it if you find this informative. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one.